Hello guys, this is Builder, and this is part 2 of my free-for-all game as China. And as we left off, I was building up after I took peace with Shanghai, and building up a little bit more, getting some markets in any of my cities. I'm not sure if I might have skipped a couple of turns between the two videos. That would be my mistake. I'm sorry if that happened. So I'm debating what policy tree I'm going to go down. I think I'm going to choose piety. It's not really the best choice to choose at this point. I already have my religion set up. I don't really need that much more faith. I mean, it'll help me getting my temples and shrines in, but otherwise it won't be as helpful. I guess it'll be nice. It'll make it easier to get the added +2 happiness from temples belief if I get that. But yeah, still not a big fan of it. I'd much rather take just the opener of commerce, which gives you more gold from your capital, which can be actually pretty large if you have a nice capital, or the opener from patronage, which lets you have more city-state friends, which is really nice if you're swimming in gold, because it means you can just have a bunch of city-state friends. And then I like to go down rationalism, because rationalism is just strong in general. Although, come to think of it, I haven't really compared it that much in Gods and Kings versus the other trees. However, I still think tech rate is very, researching is very important, and I wouldn't want to, I really want to prioritize research over, culture and stuff. Because culture is only good for what it gives you. I mean, so, the social policies that you get from culture, and I find that I have a hard time using them later in the game. Whereas research is always useful regardless of what you're doing. And so, as you can see, he's trying to take Manila, the city-state, and so what I'm going to try to do is defend it without declaring war. I was trying to block off the tiles, but I kind of failed at that. I would have needed to put in my horsemen a little bit earlier to block off all the tiles, and then I moved them out of the way a little bit, which was probably a bad idea. Anyway, I'm moving in. I have a couple of tiles nearby the city controlled, so hopefully I will actually be able to take the city with my horsemen before he can take it with his units, because I have 2 units nearby, so I can just kind of 1-2 combo punch before he can get his 1 scout to kill it. I'll take tribute from Manila, because I'm about to declare war on it. I might as well. I don't really need a worker. So I'll declare war, and I will take the city. So that was nice timing on my part. Nice timing that I was able to do that. Immediately he declares war on me. So, that's alright, though. Even if he does take the city will now be very low population. He won't have gotten that much by conquering it. He'll just have gotten like a new luxury resource. He'll be getting like a 1 population city in the tundra. So I'm setting up, you can see there's a river between kind of through the middle of Manila's territory. I'm going to set up units behind it so that he has a harder time attacking me. I'll upgrade to my pikemen just so I can get a stronger military unit in there. I'm going to try to poke away at a couple of his ranged units so he can't siege down Manila again. And so again, he's attacking me over the river, which gives him a significant attacking penalty. And so I'm gonna, refresh the units that get hurt after they get hit. Moving the healthy horsemen back up to the front line and then healing the injured ones. I'll move out the worker just in case I lose the city, so I can at least have gotten a worker from Manila. Meanwhile, I'm researching education, which will give me better tech rate. It was kind of a mistake for me to have gifted the Archer to Manila. I was thinking that Manila would be able to survive a little bit longer than they did, but then they just died on me. Because otherwise they would have been able to have an Archer unit and have killed off his catapult, which would have been very nice for... It would have made it a little bit harder for him to take the city. Because when somebody's trying to take your city, you for sure want to target the catapults. They're super weak and they do a ton of damage to cities. So you get a lot by damaging them. Unless, of course, the city is already down to 0 hit points, in which case you want to attack the unit that can actually take the city. So anyway, he's been forced to retreat with his catapult, and I was able to take out one of his archers, so he's going to have a little bit of a harder time taking out my city now that he has very few range units nearby. However, I'm also pretty low on health with all of my horsemen. So I'm going to pull back, heal up. I might be able to take the city because I had to pull back. I don't want to lose a bunch of units. Because then, I don't know, if this were a very close fight, he might be able to then, if I lost a lot of units up there, he might just move his army up and take my capital, or take one of my cities, which would be very bad. I definitely don't want to sacrifice one of my cities for Manila. I'm going to move my archer back at the start of the turn because he's pretty weak. It's still over the river, so they would take a little bit more damage, but the archer was so weak anyway that they might have been able to finish him off. And if he tries to cross the river, it'll take up all his movement points for that turn, and then I'll be able to bombard him with the city, the archer, and maybe knock him once with a horseman, which would weaken him up so he wouldn't be able to do anything. So I think he's going to start retreating, which is very nice. Looks like I'll be able to hold Manila for the moment. Again, my archer unit is... Oh, look, and he's going to jump over the river. I'm actually going to pull my horseman back a tile, because I'm scared. So I'm going to try to move my archer back once. Oh, nope, but he doesn't want to take my archer, apparently. He's not quite sure what he was going for there. Because, as you can see, I was able to take out his unit relatively quickly. It was kind of a close fight over whether... my horseman was going to kill his sword. If you looked at the combat preview, it actually said that they were both going to die. However, my horseman had like his unit. My horseman had like way more hit points. His unit had like 4 hit points or something. Mine had like 15 or something, which means that it's very unlikely for my horseman to die in that situation. Because one unit has to survive the combat, and I think my unit did survive with 1 HP. So, lucky me. And he's throwing an archer around the corner to try to take out my horsemen, but as you can see, horsemen have such great mobility with the road and just their 4 movement speed that I'm able to immediately jump over there. Although he did get to my horseman, he did get to my horse resource. However, I have enough to be able to support it without that tile. Although there is a horse tile up from Manila, which actually helped me during a earlier fight, because I was allied with Manila, which allowed me to have access to that horse tile, so I didn't go into resource penalty when my other horse tile was pillaged. So it's actually been useful to have the control of the horse resource from Manila. I'm just gonna get... Guangzhou is growing a lot, but it's not getting that much production, so I'm gonna bought a hill tile to be able to hopefully get some production up, more production up in that city. And as you can see, I've gotten my next great general, which I will be able to use to push further into his territory. And again, China gets their unique ability is increased Great General production and stronger Great Generals, so they will be getting more citadels than their opponent. Gonna start filling up the other techs. I'm gonna work towards machinery to get my Chokonus. Chokonus is a really strong unit, but again, with me playing free-for-alls, I don't want to sacrifice anything for tech rate. I want to use everything on, I want to focus on getting tech rate, and then only everything else is secondary. As you can see, he put down a citadel, and again, you want to be the person reacting with the citadel. You want to be the person who puts down the citadel first, because somebody else is just going to be able to flip it back, which I am about to do with my Great General. I'll be able to capture a worker or whatever. I'll just delete the worker the next turn, because I don't want to risk him taking it back. Although I probably could have moved that dude out, saved him, used him on a road or something. And he moves his spearmen over, which means that the zone of control will protect the tile where I want to put down the citadel. So I'm going to move the Great General away. I believe my Great General is actually vulnerable at this point. I should be moving my Great General further away, which is what I did. But that could have been bad if he had been quick on taking out my Great General with a, say for example, that spear he had right there. I believe he could have taken out my Great General with his spear right there. So that was sloppy by me to let him have the opportunity to do that. Again, that's a reason why you'd want to have a unit covering your Great General, so that you can protect him a little bit. Because he was forced to bombard it with the archer, and then I was able to move the Great General away. I'm building up more roads around the area with my worker, so that I can be able to move my Great General in more easily. And I see another catapulter up around Manila, which means that he might be able to take Manila. Oh, he has a catapult up there, which means he wants to take Manila, because that's the only reason you ever build a catapult, is if you want to try to take a city. I'm just setting up my units. I'm trying to build up enough of a force so that I can control the tile enough to be able to put my Great General in. Oh, wait, no, I'm actually going for machinery so that I can upgrade a couple of units to machinery, and then I'll be way stronger than him. I'll upgrade my composite bowmen to Chokonus so that I can have a big advantage there. I'm going to stall getting machinery so that I can upgrade more units to Chokonus. Again, I'm trying to use my gold as a way to get more production more quickly. Because if I just upgraded right now, I'd have a bunch of, I'd have a couple of upgraded Chokonus, and then I'd have to build the Chokonus, which would take a long time. This way I'll get more Chokonus more quickly. As long as I don't need them right away, it's probably better to do this. I want to hide all the archers I'm building up from him, so that he doesn't see that, all my archers I'm building up. And if you look, you saw Lucky Noob, the guy in the top score, had #1 in most of the demographics, which is actually really bad. His score, I can't really see his score that well, but it's significantly above mine. I think it's at like, I'm watching this video at a kind of low resolution right now, lower than you guys can see watch the video online. So it looks like it's 525 and I'm like 355, but I'm not really sure on that, which is really bad. He's really far ahead. Score isn't everything, but if you have a really much higher score than everyone else, it's generally a bad thing for everyone else. Not a bad thing for the person with the high score. Also, if you look, Lucky Noob is really far away from me. I'd have to go through France and some more land, and that would only take me to one of his expansion cities, which means that it's really not that, it's not that easy for me to just go out and attack him. So, I mean, and I have no idea how well his neighbors are going to be able to stop him from doing anything. So that's a big problem. I don't know. I think, if I were looking at diplomacy overview, I'd also see that he has Petra, Hanging Gardens, and like a couple of other wonders, which is just a lot of wonders to have, which is really bad for just really bad in general. Yeah, +1 faith from temples and shrines isn't, I'm not that big of a fan of the policy. It's one of the reasons why I'm not going down piety that much. I mean, I guess it could be helpful for getting an early religion, but then I'd have to sacrifice finishing liberty. But finishing liberty, I guess, isn't as important anymore, because there aren't all the wonders to Russian education. It's an interesting idea to try to go for piety early, so you can set up all of your shrines and maybe a couple of temples, and then you can get a religion quickly without even having to have the pantheon for it. As always, there's just a lot of different ways you can go for faith to get a religion. You can just do it exclusively with shrines and temples. You can go for a pantheon, and you can go for like lots of different pantheons with faith. You can ally with a faith-giving city-state. You can just do a civ which already has which has a unique building which gives you extra faith, like the Mayans or the Ethiopians. Those are all really nice civs. The Mayans and the Ethiopians are super strong. Personally, I don't like playing strong civs because I don't know. I don't like playing civs that everyone else plays. They're too mainstream for me. I like playing civs that are strong but that nobody knows are strong. So, like, for example, I like playing the Mongols. I liked playing the Mongols, and then I realized that they were like the most overpowered thing in the whole entire world if you can manage your units effectively. You just like roll over people in like 3 turns. Like, you move in and you like can take their capital down to half. Next turn you take it down to half again. You move in a unit and take the city, and it's just like, wait, what? I think part of it is because it's really hard to react. You can move in so quickly and do so much damage so quickly that it's just hard for other people to do anything. So, like, if I had a normal army, which was larger than my opponent, I'd have to move it in, set up, do some firing, move in another unit, and take it. And in the meantime, they'd be able to rush walls and build units and maybe a little bit of defense. But with the Mongols, you've already taken the city before they even finished their first production in that city, so you can just take it. But regardless, I've played the Mongols 3 times in multiplayer, and each time I've taken over my entire continent before turn 80. Maybe not turn 80, but before turn 100, I've taken over my entire continent. And I'll keep using my Keshigs up until the industrial era. I'll be bombarding riflemen with my Keshigs, and they'll be doing a reasonable amount of damage. It's kind of ridiculous. Maybe not. I've been bombarding muskets and rifles with the Keshigs, because they're still pretty strong even then, because they can, regardless of how strong their opponent is, if they can just bombard and then run away, it doesn't really matter, because they can't ever reach you anyway. So it's like you can just like also it's really funny how well the Keshigs work against Gatling guns, because the Gatling guns have no range, so you can just pop in, bombard them, run away, pop in, bombard them, run away, and there's just nothing they can do about it. It's kind of like funny because it doesn't really make any sense, because it's like, okay, you have a horse and you have like little archers and you're killing up a Gatling gun. Anyway, I guess you could explain it with just what the idea is, that the Keshigs just have longer range, so they're able to do more damages. Anyway, back to this game. Sorry about that tangent. I have put in a new citadel, upgraded all my units to Choco News, and I've flipped his citadel, upgraded Choco News, and now I'm moving in on his capital, which is significantly under-defended. See, with the Keshigs, I would have already been bombarding his city a bunch, and probably would have taken it the next turn, which is, it's just like lightning speed, you know? He wouldn't even have been able to move his troops in. Chokanus are pretty strong, too. They have the double bombard, which actually stays when they're promoted, so you can use double bombard, do double bombarding machine guns, which are really strong. I haven't used them myself, but just anytime you can get double damage out of a unit, it's generally a good thing. I'm a fan of double damage units. Also, another interesting upgrade is the longbowman from England into machine guns. That could be interesting to get the +1 range. I haven't used that, so I'm not sure how that would be helpful or how much that would help tactically. But it could be. I mean, it's going to be strong, because the way you counter a machine gun is that you move in and move out, and having longer range would be very helpful in making that harder to do for your opponent. So anyway, he doesn't really have that much of a force defending his capital. It looks like he was trying to like sneak in behind me and get the other city up above. But it just meant that his force was split up and he just wasn't able to do anything. So I was able to take his capital, but in the meanwhile, Lucky Noob is lurking in the background. So the Songhai is gonna leave at this point. I'm gonna move towards his city down below, and take that. Can't see what it is right now. I'm not gonna take the city on the left because it just doesn't look like a very good city. It doesn't also have any new luxury resources that I would be able to use, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna enhance my religion. I'm looking for +2 happiness from the temples with followers thing, but it looks like someone else took it, which is frustrating. I'm thinking about taking +2 happiness from gardens, but that would be bad because not all of my cities are on rivers. In fact, only one of the cities I built is on a river, which would make it really hard to use. So I'm not going to pick that, actually. Combat strength near... what did I take? I didn't actually see what I took. Oh well. Whatever it was, I'm sure it was a good choice. I took combat strength near my cities, I believe, as an enhancer, because the increased spread... I like to take increased spread 33% faster if I'm at peace, and the +20% combat if I'm at war. But also the 33% was taken, so I didn't really have a choice. I was just going for the combat strength. At this point, I think I'm going to drop out of the video. I'm fighting an AI. Not that much more interesting. Not that much more fighting happens in the video. So I'm just going to drop off. You guys can watch. If you want to skip to the end and figure out what happens, I'll leave a spoiler in the credits. So anyway, you guys, thanks for watching.